talking about specimen plants. They serve a focal point in a landscape. Joining us to share more, tell us what they are, how we can use them to improve the look of our lawn, we have Master Gardener, the Green Thumb Guru, Ed Sourdiffe. How you doing, friend?
Good, how are you?
I'm well, except I don't know what specimen plants are. Please illuminate it for everybody.
Okay, well, a specimen plant is basically a plant that is the specimen in your yard. It's like the Latin spec means to look at. It's something you want to look at.
So it's not just a row of bushes or trees. It's a single piece that sticks out that you want to make as a focal point.
Yeah, for some reason there's something really appealing about that plant. It stands out from the others. So you'll take that, and as a focal point you can actually look at it. It brings your eye to it, so it'll actually make you look to the other side of the yard or something like that to extend your space, even if you're extending your view.
Now, does it have to be just one plant, or can you put little things around it to make a little oasis, a specimen oasis?
Well, you can. Well, sure. You could have like a say this tricolored beech, and then you could put something around it like a variegated pachysandra that's a little bit more unusual or something. So you could work with that. You don't have to have just that, but the specimen should be able to stand upon itself.
Yeah, you want the plant to stand alone. Now, which one do you want to start with? We're looking at 3 right now. Which one do you want to tell us about more in depth?
We can start with these 2 up front, maybe the one in the far corner.
Sure.
That's a snake bark maple. It's called Esk flamingo. It's really a really neat plant. It's actually probably you consider it about the size of like a Japanese maple. It doesn't get much bigger. It can actually go in part shade to sun, so that helps some people. It can take a little bit more shady environment.
How long is it going to take to grow to its final height? Is this like a huge investment, 10, 20 years?
It'll take a while. It's not like a wicked fast grower, so it will take 10, 15 years, and it'll go slow. And it depends on your environment. If you give it enough water, it's happy there. It'll grow a little faster. But this is ideally one that you want to watch grow. You don't want to have it just like a huge plant right away, because it goes through the different stages. The really great thing about this plant, regular snake bark maples, actually, if you were able to look at the bark up close, you could see that it actually will get white stripes on it, and that's why they call it snake bark. But the flamingo one is actually very interesting because it has that great variegation on the leaves, that bright pops of pink. And
that's beautiful.
Yeah, and then it also gets the fresh growth in the spring is that bright pink stem. So it really is a really great plant.
Are there certain considerations that you need to make when you're planting these? Because someone like me, I want it to be close to my house because it's nice. I would forget that it's going to grow 30 feet tall. So one can't plant this too close to their house, is that right?
No, yes. Well, the beech here, you would definitely want to make this far. This is a tricolor European beech. This will get 40 feet high and maybe even 30 feet wide. The other one's a little bit smaller. So that you could plant closer to your house like you would a Japanese maple. You actually have, we have in front of Channel 22 here, if somebody wants to see a larger version of the tricolor European beech. There's one right in front here, and there's one at Stanley Park right when you come in. Yeah, so you can see how they look. They keep this beautiful color too, this bright pink throughout the year. It gets a little pendulous like this. It means some of the branches start weeping down a little bit. And a beech actually is a very beautiful plant. It has a really great flare, usually great roots, and nice smooth bark usually on it. So it's a very nice thing.
Ed, we're not done yet. We're going to talk about the rest of these specimen plants a little bit later in the show. All right, sounds good. Also coming up, we're back with the Master Gardener, the Green Thumb Guru, Ed Sourdiffe. We're talking more specimen plants.
More specimen plants.
If people missed it earlier, a specimen plant is basically a plant that you want to make a specimen of, a focal point in your home and garden.
Yes, something that you can look at and it would draw your eye to. That's what you want. So that's what these are. They're a little bit different, a little bit more unique than at regular plants, so they're good choices. We actually didn't talk about the
little sad pine tree.
Yeah, it's not really sad. It's a Acrocona Norway spruce.
Whoa, say that one more time.
Acrocona.
Acrocona.
And that actually means that if you look at the top branch there, the highest one,
yes,
you can see in the middle it looks like there was a pine cone.
Yeah, I saw that.
And this plant actually will grow through where the pine cones used to be, so it makes it kind of interesting. The other interesting thing about this plant is that you can just see a hint of it now on some of the smaller pine cones, like on the end.
Right?
There's a little bit of that bright purple or pink left. A couple weeks ago, all the pine cones on that were bright pink, brighter than the color on this beech.
Really?
Yeah, and that's one of the things that attracts people to that plant. It's the needles are very soft. I mean, if you pet the plant,
And normally I don't recommend petting a pine tree. In this situation, It's a great idea.
Yeah, it is. And this plant actually only gets 12 feet tall and 10 feet wide. So this is a great one if you have a border where there's telephone lines. This will never go up and it'll never hit them. It's great for privacy, yeah.
See, and these are things that if you're going to make a big decision, buy a tree and live in your house for a good while, these are all things you need to think about.
Yeah, yeah, and that's a definite good thing. It's also a zone 3, so anybody in the area should be able to take it because that can take a really cold winter.
Ed, we have about a minute left, 3 plants to get to. Ginkgo.
Okay, the ginkgo, this is sunstream ginkgo. This can actually take the cities really well because it takes pollution and stuff like that, so it's a good thing. This one, the claim to fame is if they see the leaf here, it's variegated, and that's actually a really nice variegation there. So this is, it stays true, it'll stay variegated all year.
Variegation basically means it's as if nature cut the leaf.
Well, no, it's the stripes in the leaf.
Oh, the striping.
Or the coloring of the leaf. So this one has that.
Very pretty.
Yeah, and this can get to be 100 feet tall. So this is it's a big one.
How long does that take?
This is a slow grower. It takes a long time.
Okay, so I probably wouldn't be around to see that 100 feet.
Well, you'll see it'll look good. It'll be nice and big for you, but it won't be that big.
What do we have over here?
This is a clematis. This is just to show that this is a Elena ushka. This actually shows that you can actually have a plant that isn't a tree that can be your focal points. Just put this on a trellis, a pergola in the yard, and this would be a nice thing. This actually has, the flowers aren't like a regular flower with the petals coming out. It actually has a beautiful pendulous bell-like shape. So
really?
Yeah, so that's actually very pretty. And this plant over here is an ash magnolia. This looks very tropical because it does live all the way down to Florida.
I was noticing that. It looks as if you could get a taste of the tropics right in your own backyard.
Yeah, and it has these beautiful huge leaves that get to be 18 inches or more. It also will get a flower on it. It's at least a foot wide. A big white flower.
Wow.
Yeah, and this, there is one at the Berkshire Botanical Garden. This is supposed to be a zone 6, but the nurseryman assured me it can do a 5 because of Berkshire Botanical. So I'm going to try it. I'm going to put it in an area of my yard that has a north blockage, so I'm going to try to find a microclimate where it's a little bit warmer in my yard than the rest, and then I'm going to try to put that there to see if that works.
Then you can put out a lawn chair, you can sun around it and feel like you're in Key West.
There you go.
And always a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much. By the way, you're here so often. We have so many gardening segments on our show, so if you want to see all these gardening tips, though, the spot to go, mymassappeal.com. And next,